We'll begin with a reign of terror. A few murders here and there.
Hello, friends and fiends. Welcome back to Blood and Guts, HHN, where we break down the blood and guts of Halloween Horror Nights. With me, as always, Mad Matt. How's it going, Matt?
I'm doing fantastic, Evil Adam, because as you know, we actually got nothing solid yet, but we're finally starting to get at least some crumbs to kind of, wet the palate. Maybe, like an appetizer before your entree.
Yep.
But before we cut into that, how about yourself? How are you doing?
I'm good, and I'm like you, these little cryptic tweets and little silly videos that they put out before, and then you'll have your code crackers out there trying to solve the mystery of the codes and everything like that. So we're going to cover that and a little bit more for you tonight. So let's jump right in.
Yep.
And let's talk about the code names.
Y'all hear that? We're using code names.
Yeah, well, the code names we have, friends and fiends, this week we had 2 more code names that were revealed, so now we have the full list of the Orlando locations. Unfortunately, we didn't look at the Hollywood because, we're more focused on Orlando. So, With that being said, the 2 newest ones we've got is showing at tent number 3 is Donuts.
Yep.
Tent number 4 is Sunday. And we're thinking that those, or at least at tent number 4 for Sunday, would either be the Schuster or Insidious. I'm leaning more towards Schuster, but based off the Spec Mac 2, that would be where currently the speculation for Insidious is.
Yeah.
And Donuts would have been where the popcorn bucket was. So, it's an original house. Like we're thinking maybe Usher, Slaughter Cinema 2, or have you heard anything else on those?
I haven't heard anything else. I'm really hoping to will it into fruition.
Talk it to existence.
Talk it into existence that it will be a Slaughter Cinema or some kind of house like that featuring the Usher.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Like I said, I'd love to see the Usher. Now, we'll touch on that tweet later. I'm wondering if we'll get the Usher based on what we're kind of seeing, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Right.
Tent number 2, we have the Cobbler, and that one's in a location where, like I said, it's either going to be Schuster or Insidious. I'm thinking more Insidious just because for Sunday, when we're going back to it, well, I think it's Schuster. I'm thinking black and white. You think of an ice cream sundae, you got vanilla, you got the chocolate syrup. So that's why I'm leaning towards that. But
I hope so. I hope it is.
Speculation. Oh, me too. Me too. Moving right along, then we got in Soundstage 24B is Fudge. And on the speculation map, that's where everybody's thinking Sweet's Revenge or
that
one could be.
That could be true.
And then this one's the one that's like the dead giveaway for everybody's Soundstage 23B is S'mores. And everybody's sure that's Ghostbusters. Yes, sir. Yeah. And of course, being Ghostbusters, we know Marshmallow Man. And then tent number 1, we have baklava. I'm not really sure what a dessert dish that I've never had that myself.
It's like a Greek. It's a Greek.
There you
dish,
go.
Yeah.
And that, of course, is on the speculation map is where the Greek god's house is. That's why I'm glad.
Besides
that's why I'm glad I got here because you're a good connoisseur of food.
Yep.
In the Fast and the Furious house, they have pie, and still on the spec map, that's the unknown original.
So that could be anything.
Could be anything, exactly. For Soundstage 22, we have cookies, and that looks like the Bride of Frankenstein, at least according to the last speculation map. And I can see that because you think of cookies when they come on the pan, they kind of rise up, and I'm thinking like the creature would do that as well. But that's just me spitballing. What about you?
Yeah, like black and white, or not black and white, but the chocolate chip cookies. Kind of for the hair.
Yeah,
I don't know. That could be something.
Yeah, definitely.
But
And moving then to Soundstage 23, we have Flam. And what would you think that would fall on?
Yeah, that's definitely the monsters of South America with the trees on the map. And that that sounds about right. I just wish they would release something more foolproof, and it'll come, but you know.
And last but not least, friends and fiends, we have Soundstage 24A. The dessert is pudding. Based off Spec Map 2 would be A Quiet Place. I have not seen that in a while, so I really have no idea how pudding would correspond with that. So I mean,
I don't remember them eating pudding in the film. Maybe they do, but it's been so long that I don't know. But if you know, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, definitely. So with that being said, then those are all the code names, so we can look forward to seeing more updates. I mean, I know we did see too in the past few weeks those spring tents are going up. We've seen some aerial footage of that.
Yeah, and you're going to see more of that as it goes, and then hopefully BioReconstruct later on will release some more aerial footage of the other tents as well. And I know that he did last year when they did the facade of Darkest Deal.
Yes.
He had the aerial footage of some of the first footage of the facade of Darkest Deal.
Right.
So hopefully that'll go up later on as they progress.
Right. And I mean, like I said, friends and fiends, like I said, these may be just little crumbs, but at least we know we're getting closer. We're going to see more facades being built. We're going to see like things starting to pop up around the park, like lighting trusses, lighting on the buildings. So,
and we also had this little video that was released where the girl is in the dark tunnel.
Yeah.
And she says, you know, something about, I'm under Universal, and you won't believe the things that I've seen.
Right.
And if we can get this clip in the video, we will.
Yep.
I don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to make this quick. I followed those sounds, and I think I'm below Universal. Now, if I saw, but I think I saw, then no one's safe, and it's too late.
So yeah, piggybacking off that, moving into the next segment, then we have the tweets and stuff that did come out. So we'll start with the first one. The first tweet HHN released yesterday, which would have been Thursday the 8th.
Yeah, was the door.
The door, and the code crackers have the evil is underneath Universal.
Yep.
So
which coincides with the video.
Yep.
What that could mean for underneath Universal. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard people are speculating. I know that's not really speculation. We just know that they're having a hard time with the IPs right now.
Yeah,
people are like reaching for Evil Dead Rising because they've heard that rumor. I mean, Hollywood had it last year.
Yeah,
and they're hoping that for this year. I don't personally think that's what it's going to do. I think it's just going to lead to whoever the icon is. Like you see that door. I know back at HHN 30, Jack was actually behind a door that's similar to that. Now, will it be Jack this year? I think so.
I doubt it will be Jack.
Yeah. Like, I think it might be, I'm hearing a lot of people tell, I think it might be Eddie, and I can buy Eddie more than I could Jack just because we had Oddfellow last year, then you have Eddie this year. Maybe it's just something that's going to keep that story going.
Maybe, you know, and I'm sure at the end all the videos will coincide together. Mm-hmm. And I hope that we do get some good, interesting videos this year.
Yeah.
You know.
And I hope, I'm glad you brought that up because the past few years, they start out strong, but then it's like they miss the mark as they go along. Where I want to like start out strong and then be a huge bang at the end when they tie everything together.
Yeah,
that's my hope. So we'll see where this is leading.
Yeah, totally. I think so. This is the second image of the door we've seen, and then you've got the additional video of the girl, and you hear she says, "I'm under Universal," something about. You're not going to believe it. It's too late or something. And then you hear her voice.
Yep, I don't have much time.
Yeah, it says something like, is that what it says? Something.
That's what she says.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
She says that, and the voice says something like, get out, or what are you doing here, or something along. We'll try to get that into this video if we can.
Yep.
Make it happen.
Well, last but not least, friends and fiends, as usual, we want to put it to you if you have any questions while we're filming to throw at us, and we're more than happy to answer them on the air. So this evening we had 2 questions thrown at us. First one comes off our TikTok from handle Garfield, and the question is, are there any house guesses from this new door footage on that new HHN video? I'll throw it to you first. Do you have any type of guesses?
No, I don't really have any guesses on that. I don't know if that video is pertaining to a house as much as it is the overview of the event itself.
Right. Is
what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, I can agree with that. If anything, if it does come to fruition as far as the house goes, you're talking about the overview. I think it might lead to where whoever the icon's going to be in that big reveal.
Pretty much.
But yeah, as far as right now, nothing concrete on that. It's just like, throwing stuff to the wall and see what's sticking.
Right.
So, next question we have from our good friend Birdie. What house are you most excited for? So, based on what we have off the speculation maps, Evil Adam, what would you be most excited for?
Right now, with Nightmare being gone, I would be most excited for the Boris Schuster house if they do it like that tribute store last year. And I love Case Files Unearthed, Legendary Truth, all that stuff. If they can tie that in together and have a nice black and white cartoon comic book house, then that's going to be probably number one on my hype list. Just saying right now, knowing what we know so far, if that's the case, that will go to the top of my hype list.
Well, I hate to just be a repeater, but I'm exactly the same way because I'm like you. Like at HHN 30, I love the Boris Schuster house. It was definitely one of my favorite houses.
Pleasant surprise. And I'd say close second, just out of curiosity, would be if they do a Greek god's house, and it doesn't have to be related to Poseidon's fury, but if it is a Greek god's house and they have a Medusa and a Minotaur and all these type of creatures in there,
that'd be fun.
Then sign me up for that. So that's a close second for me.
Yeah, so for me, definitely it's the Boris Schuster house just because I love that noir, and I loved how they did the tribute store last year. We've talked about that on multiple videos so far. So if we get something similar to that, I would be very excited to see that and just to see whatever case that he would be on this particular time and what type of monsters they do throw at him.
And if that case relates to the overview of the event itself, that would be cool too.
Yeah, it'd be a great tie-in.
Yeah.
So, definitely that's what I'd be excited for. I know we talked about earlier too, just kind of continue on a little bit. The way things are shaping up and looking, looks like it's going to be like the originals are what's going to carry us this year.
Yeah, I was thinking that if the IPs aren't heavy enough for me personally, and I know probably for you as well, it's going to be a heavy original year, which is perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, so that's not a bad thing.
They, in my honest opinion, they could do an all original house
back in the good old days.
Back in the good old days, throwback, and I would be perfectly fine with it. Yeah.
Now I do love a good IP now and then, but I'm like you, like at least what's being spitballed out there now and what's kind of falling off out of the way. Like as much as I do love Ghostbusters, I just think the originals probably be the ones to look at this year. But now we have plenty of time between now and the end of August to where we might be pleasantly surprised at what they're able to actually grab IP wise. Yep. So it remains to be seen, friends and fiends. But like I said, let us know in the comments, how do you feel about the houses? What are your guesses for the code names? Like, do you think, as far as the spec map goes, you think they may be off? Let us know because we love to hear from you.
Right. And as always, remember, stay spooky and remember.
It's hot. It's steamy. It's blood and guts time. Shout out to them. Without them, they give all the HHN info for you guys. So, like, subscribe, do what you got to do.